Assalamualaikum everyone. I hope you all are doing well. My name is Rehan Foundation. I am from Karachi, Pakistan. Today we have the pleasure of hosting a distinguished guest, Mr. Asliddin. Mr. Asliddin, thank you so much for joining us. Let's take the opportunity to get to know Mr. Asliddin and learn about his remarkable journey in life while explore his experiences, skills, and aspirations. I encourage all of you to actively participate in this interview and ask insightful questions that will help us gain deeper understanding of Mr. Aslidi's expertise and achievements. So, without further ado, let's extend a warm welcome to Mr. Asliddin and
Y-
begin our conversation. Mr.
Yeah,
Asliddin, thank you so much for joining us today. We are eager to learn more about your background and experiences. So,
yeah,
welcome,
yeah,
Mr. Asliddin. How are you?
yeah. I'm doing great. Thanks. Thanks for having me first of all.
It's
I'm
my
glad to
pleasure.
share my experiences with you.
So, first of all, please introduce yourself for my viewers.
Yeah, let's start then. My name is Asliddin, coming from Angren Tashkent region. Yeah, studied and graduated from al-Khwarizmi specialized IT school this year. Uh, yeah, kind of interested in this mathematics stuff, informatics stuff a bit, and this STEM subjects. Yeah,
Alright, thank you so much for your introduction. So, now let's move on to our questions. So, my first question is, can you tell me about your experience at al-Khwarizmi specialized IT school? What were your responsibilities and achievements during your time there?
yeah. Telling my experiences at Al Hazmi, I can say I enrolled in this school, in this prestigious school, it last year in 2021 for high school specifically, and um, finished this school this year, studying there for 2 years. Yeah, it's actually the school kind of related to presidential schools. Yeah, mm, founded in 2009, uh, specifically to teach students in tech. Yeah, in tech, in mathematics, in physics. Yeah, that's about my school. And talking about my responsibilities there, actually having enrolled to this school, I immediately delved into this admission stuff, preparing for admissions, preparing for my academic tests, like IELTS, SAT, and this extracurricular activities. uh, can you can you listen me well? Yep.
Yes, yes,
And
I can hear you.
yeah. Uh, actually, this is kind of hard school to get into. When I applied to it, uh, the acceptance rate was kind of 9 or 10%, and I did it. After enrolling, uh, I faced these new challenges. Yeah, uh, that I hadn't faced before in my life. The Actually, the curriculum was hard, and you know. At the start of admission cycle, you need to be fast to learn something. You need to realize which direction would you uh, would you go in your life. Actually, yes. mm, I started to learn this IT stuff, but before enrolling, I hadn't been familiar with this information technology so much. But yeah, I was lucky enough to get into the school and to learn experience, yeah, in real experiences, to manage such networks. My school is pretty huge and holds many good appliances in it, like network administration stuff. I'll talk about them in a bit. Yes. it's my responsibilities. We're preparing for admissions for the whole 2 years.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your responsibilities and experience. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is, what specific skills do you possess in clerical work and administrative assistant? Can you provide example of how you have applied these skills in a practical setting?
Yeah. Before talking about specific skills and clerical work and administrative assistance, I'd like to introduce or talk about a bit about my volunteering, where I applied these skills in this activity. I actually have been volunteering in M-Factor. M-Factor is a pretty renowned organization, or how to say, business hub in Uzbekistan, which accumulates all business people across the region. Uh, the main mission of this M-Factor business company to teach these business people how to delegate tasks for the workforce, how to properly manage marketing stuff, how to properly uh, connect with clients, right? How to pitching to clients, how to apply their service in a right place. It was uh, a place like that, you know. I last year applied for volunteering position for like mm, internship stuff, and I was accepted, and I've been volunteering there like with clerical support, you know. Every time I go there, I'm welcoming guests, you know. It's kind of uh, there are, you know, trainings, lessons in as I mentioned, in marketing, uh, in managing in managing the workforce, in everything in business. And every time I go there, I welcome uh, newcomers, clients, business people. uh, i'm i'm uh, I'm directing them to the right places where the training is held, you know. And this kind of relates to my clerical support, and this administrative support as well. I kind of help them organize this meeting events, you know, organize these events. Yes, it's kind of little, uh, uh, yeah, little bit about my administrative and clerical experiences.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. Uh, my next question is, how would you describe your level of computer literacy? Are there any particular software or tools you are proficient in?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Actually, before this, I need to introduce you my curriculum in al-Khwarizmi, which is pretty tough for people who's not into information technology. And it actually we have four courses in our school, you know, for high schoolers. When I got into the school, I chose to go through network administration, which covers managing switches, managing network tools like routers, managing servers, working with operating systems, Windows, Linux, you know. Uh, yeah, this is my school curriculum as a whole, net, in network administration. And for the past few years, for the past 2 years, I learned how to deal with problems while configuring this network tools, switches, as I mentioned, right? Uh, by switch, I mean it's kind of this tool, uh, not so not so big, but it serves mm, to help you get some message from servers, like network administrator delegate tasks, right? Delegate some rights, delegate some uh, did some configuration in server, and the switches. Actually, in my example, in my school, uh, the whole switches and routers are scattered around the school, around my huge school, uh, which almost accumulates 100 or 120 tools in total. And the server manager delegates this all messages, delegates those all information, for example, for teachers, right? And it puts it in the server, and the server automatically sends this to switches. First, it sends it to routers. Then routers automatically this manages this mess, chaotic information, and it automatically delegates this all information for personal computers of teachers, for personal computers of like library stuff, for mathematics department, for English department, for literature departments, teachers, you know. And uh, yes, this is what I did for the past 2 years. Not the whole tasks, but I was I was an assistant to server manager in real examples. Yeah, managing the Cisco tools, writing some codes on it. It's not like coding stuff. It's not like programming. It's not like creating websites. It's not like putting apps on Play Market. It's totally different stuff. It's uh, it's uh, it's providing security, it's providing privacy for data being sent to switches, routers, to teachers, to all departments in school. Yeah, it's my kind of was little assignment during my year at this school.
All right,
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah,
So,
particular
my
software.
next,
Yeah, it's actually
can you
Cisco,
hear
as
me?
I mentioned. Yeah,
Hello,
I
can you
I
hear me?
couldn't mention this. Yes, yes, yes. Can you hear me?
All right. So, my next question is, what analytical skills do you possess, and how have you utilized them in your previous experiences or projects?
Yeah, about analytical skills, they actually comes in handy while applying my knowledge in real experiences, in real uh, assistance to server managers. Like describing the whole activity would be like that. I I come to server manager with ladder, you know, this switches, all routers are all set in the ceiling, you know, in the ceilings of corridors at al-Khwarizmi. They are all scattered around school, as I mentioned, as I said. And I actually go into that ladder, and with my personal computer I connect it to the switch, and will type there some codes to, like, if there's some problem with getting the message from the server, like let's say the information for teachers, right, for mathematics department, like assignments for like homework, digital, I mean digital homework, like PDFs for students to go through, learn, right? It is not sent to teachers, right? Mathematics department. I will go to the server first, check, we'll check the assignment stuff. Uh, was it uploaded to server? And then go to particular switch on the ceiling, which is located in mathematics department, and and we'll start configuring it. Why the assignments uploaded on the server uh, didn't reach this switch and didn't get uh, uh, and teachers didn't get this. And while I'm doing so, I'm using things like you know, 1 second. Yeah, It might be problems with cables, cables are are of three types: UTP cables, twisted pair cables, coaxial cables, and it might be there some problems. Maybe the cable was cut out in the way through mathematics department. I'll fix that uh, while helping my server manager. And their analytical skills, like pairing cables, uh, there like there are three or four colors in that cable. You should be very careful while connecting, while pairing these cables together. And uh, you should be thinking about in which cable, like take beat red cable. There it's pretty complicated stuff to explain. There is some mm, packets coming through this red cable, and you should properly connect. To cut it short, it's analytical skill. There you need analytical skills to connect all this, configure this stuff. Yeah, on the ceiling. Yes, this is my answer.
All right, great. Thank you so much for explaining, and thank you so much for sharing your skills. So, my next question is, can you elaborate on your knowledge and experience in network administration? Are there any specific areas within network administration that you are particularly knowledgeable about?
Yeah, give me a second. Give me a second. Which part to take? Which part I can elaborate on? Uh, let's go with common sense for all network administrators. Okay. Uh, it's actually mm, the OSI model. This this OSI model should be how to say, all network administrator guys, uh, all people who are interested in network administration stuff, cybersecurity stuff, or newcomers into the sphere should learn this first, like OSI model. It's an abbreviation. Uh, it stands for Open Systems Interconnection. And this part uh, I learned when I came newly into this sphere. My my teacher always repeats this question, whether I know this, whether I remember this. And this layer of OSI model is consists of 7 layers. Physical layer, which I'll be elaborating on in a bit. Data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation and application layers. And coming to, I won't be explaining it in detail. We won't have enough time for that, but mm, I'll be explaining it shortly. Yeah, this physical layer mm, takes all stuff like switches, cables, as I mentioned, this UTP cables, which transfers your data properly to the recipient. In my case, teachers in school. Yes, and the second layer is the data link layer. Uh, in this layer, uh, it actually, yes. Uh, it takes bridges, switches as well, where the data uploaded is being how to say, is being downloaded, is being generated in packets, is being divided in packages to send to next layer. Yes, it's network layer. It's more serious layer where uh, where all your packages go through mm, Wi-Fi networks, through routers, and uh, in this case, IPs come in. You're familiar with this IP basic stuff. I guess all viewers are familiar with this, and packages. These tools also like people uh, connect with themselves, talking to each other. In this layer, I mentioned second layer data link sends these messages. Uh, did you receive my message to you? Did you receive my packages I sent to you? And it also, in response, sends the messages back. And this actually the basics of network administration. Every network administration guy should be aware of. Uh, and the next layers are transport, session, presentation, and application layers. Deal with uh, like all the stuff like broadcasting stuff. Like if we apply this in our case, like you're broadcasting, right? Live session with other people. You're putting this on LinkedIn, right? This works other layers. They provide the quick systems to reach to viewers fastly, yes. And uh, there specifically in terminology, we say this HTTP, API, TCP, UDP, specifically, which provides uh, the correct service, yeah, to reach people. This is my kind of knowledge. Yes, specific knowledge
Thank you
I
so much.
learned this.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. So my next question is, can you tell me more about your high school education at Muhammad al-Khwarizmi Specialized IT School? What courses do you take, and how have they prepared for a career in system administration?
Uh, yes. Let me make it clear, a little bit clear about my whole curriculum in Al Kharizmi. Actually, it's called IT school, but we in this school we learn deeply mathematics as well, physics too, and English kind of English in the process. Not only IT stuff, you know. And my whole background was related to mathematics stuff only, mathematics and English before I enrolled in this school. And yes, it's a big curriculum. It covers let's take mathematics. It covers calculus stuff. Last previous year, we almost learned this advanced calculus stuff. Yeah, linear algebra, and even some courses which are taught on colleges even. Uh, little bit complicated topics, but yes, this is kind of pressure we are put on ourselves by school. And talking about my informatics curriculum, we deal with, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, operating systems, Windows, Linux. Specifically talking, we used Debian systems. Debian is kind of from the family of Linux systems. Debian, yes, and Kali, specifically for hackers, who especially this system is used by uh, black hat hackers, white hat hackers to break into the networks, to break Wi-Fi's, to break this all. And we system administrators, uh, little bit cybersecurity guys as well, use this system in our journey. Of course, we're not professionals yet. This year, we covered topics in the junior level. You see, and before last year, when I in my junior year, we covered Cisco stuff. As I mentioned, this switches stuff, routers, how to connect them properly, how to manage their package transferring. Yes, and going to physics stuff, we also cover some mm, tough topics, difficult topics. Uh, yeah, it's not so different from our national from other schools in in Uzbekistan, from how to say, from secondary schools in Uzbekistan. No, yes, it covers related stuff to 11th and 10th graders. Yes, theories of relativity and some advanced physics curriculum. And in English, we cover, like, we read extra books for our development of language. Like, we took some courses in IELTS as well. We took some courses. Yeah, we especially read some books in related to IELTS stuff. Yeah, this is my curriculum, especially for this, four of them.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Asliddin, sorry, for sharing your incredible journey with us today. Your experience and insights have been truly inspiring. We appreciate your time and willingness to participate in this interview. Before we conclude, is there anything else you would like to add, share with us, and any final thoughts or advice for aspiring individuals in the field?
Yes, maybe, how to say, there are a bunch of courses if you'd like to learn this network administration stuff, this cybersecurity stuff, as we did in our previous years with my friends. Like, we took CCNA courses. We all we almost finished this. Mm, we almost covered this 80% of this task, which consists of 120 videos. And yeah, you can do so. You can learn from courses in Coursera or even on YouTube. You can find them. Yes, this is my
All right. Thank you so much for your
okay.
advice. Thank you so much for your message. So once again, we extend our gratitude to Mr. Asliddin for being our esteemed guest today. We also thank all the participants for their active involvement and thought-provoking questions. As we wrap up, let's remember to take the lessons we've learned from Mr. Asliddin experiences and apply them to our own lives and careers. Let's continue to strive for excellence, learn from each other, and make positive contributions to our respective fields. Thank you for joining us today. Assalamu alaikum. Have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you for
Bye.
having me as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.